It's July 17th, 2024. I am at Joel Pearl, and it's time to get in the weeds. Street Trash is with me this morning, as he always is. Jeremy Lambert is here. How you doing? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. There's a video.
This is what I'm doing today, Joel. I'm not here to do this silly show. All right? I'm not here to do that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take these 2 hours. And while everyone thinks I'm working and I'm doing this show, which I'm allegedly supposed to be doing, which I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern, I'm going to sit here all show and I'm going to actually play some NCAA football because I played it a lot on Monday. I didn't get to play it at all yesterday. Barely. Too much going on yesterday. Too much stuff not getting done yesterday that I had to do. So I'm going to sit here for 2 hours and play the game today. Not that game. Different game. College football 25 game.
Oh, college football. How's that going?
Kent State, we're doing okay. 7-5 first season. We're in our second season now. Recruiting's a little difficult. I had to take some time to get used to it. But we're in our second season. Just picked up a big win against Louisville.
Oh, have you told Sean about this big win?
No, I told my other friends about this big win, though.
Have you considered maybe drafting Biggie Langston to do your college recruitment?
That wouldn't be bad. I don't know if he's gonna ride for Kent State. He's an Iowa guy.
He'll ride for whoever pays him the highest figure amount.
I don't think Big E's on the take like that.
I don't know. Until that neck is feeling better, I feel like he can take whatever money he's offered.
Yeah, but he's already well positioned, I feel like.
Yeah, well positioned to scout talent for football.
Caden, I am a offensive coordinator. I start as an offense coordinator at a low school, and then I go from there.
Hey, speaking of offensive. Z Offensive is here. The Z Offensive.
The Z Offensive.
Andrew's area.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice eyebrows.
Thank you.
How are we this morning? You're back.
My wife's still floating at sea. I left, though. I'm back. She's still... she's halfway to Aruba by now.
Don't tell the authorities whether or not you're the one who put her in the sea to float.
I just pushed her right in.
Nothing good can come of this conversation, and I already regret it.
Can I tell you guys something? Can I rant for a second?
Of course. That's what the show's about.
Delta's the worst. Delta's the worst.
Oh, that's like common thread now. Everyone's pulling a Delta. Let's go.
I can't believe how atrocious Delta is.
I feel like every airline is the worst. Is there a good airline?
It depends.
JetBlue's not bad. Not bad.
All right.
You know? They're always on time.
That's true. I mean, listen, it depends who you ask about good airlines. You want a good airline recommendation? Don't listen to Alexa Bliss.
She always has
what did she say?
Airlines. Oh, she hates all the airlines. They lose her bag all the time. It's the only thing she talks about. Loves hating.
It actually, it's amazing how, I'm right by JFK, right? I got to JFK. And I'm seeing the TSA thing is such an insane thing we got to do now, right? And I keep thinking there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. This can't be the way. Take your shoes off. One idiot did something with shoes, and now for the rest of our lives, we have to remove shoes.
That was kind of a... That's an airport by airport experience from my own experience. Sometimes they say take off your shoes, sometimes they don't. Sometimes someone's lazy, sometimes just wants to, screw it.
You know what's amazing? Going through JFK security, it's like they're screaming at you, they're demanding you take layers of clothing off, right? And then when I was in Jamaica, they're like, "Hey, give us $30 and we'll just bring you through customs. Don't worry about it."
That's it. That's the answer. That's
and that's literally what I did. I was like, "What?" And yeah, it's like $30. We'll walk. They held my bags. They went through customs. They didn't even ask me a thing, and the next thing I know, I'm in a lounge.
$30 got you lounge access?
Isn't that incredible?
Oh, dang, I need
At
that.
JFK, they refused to allow my wife in the lounge because she didn't have our platinum Amex.
No.
I did. I had mine. They're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. No, you need the platinum Amex.
No pores. This pore is
No
attached.
pores. Isn't this crazy?
That's
Civility's
absurd.
gone. Civility's gone.
The biggest first world problems we could ever have, but here we are talking about them.
But here we are. Only in America. My family fought hard to come here.
That's
just so I could take a Amex Platinum and wave it in front of my wife and say, "See you later."
So long, sucker.
Yeah. So long, sucker.
Does she have?
But it was a fantastic trip. What?
Does she have one? Or why don't you do you
Yeah.
she does. She just didn't bring it with her?
She didn't bring her wallet.
But does
All
she
she
have
brought was a passport.
what about her phone? Does she not have it on her phone?
Doesn't count. Doesn't count.
That is so absurd.
Yeah.
It should count.
It doesn't count.
Stupid. I don't like it.
So
this is now a travel vlog channel.
It's not. Welcome to In the Travels.
Traveling Weeds, where you can get banned for doing it.
Yeah.
But not when you talk about it.
Yeah.
Did you have fun on your day? Did you have fun on your day out?
I needed it. I'm actually going to work now. I just wanted to call you guys quickly, but I'm headed to work. My first day back, so it's for your hell.
I like how he calls it calling us, Jeremy.
I mean, it kind of is a call.
I'm on my. I'm calling you on my telephone. I'm calling into a radio show.
Okay, that's valid. I'll give you that. It's just very
It's
funny.
a morning drive time show. I'm calling into it.
That's true. Most people do listen to us and not look at us, which is probably smarter.
Jeremy, I have a couple questions for you.
That's unfortunate. What's up?
That game you're playing. Can I just say something? I don't care about NCAA anything.
Okay.
It does zero for me. Okay? I want to know the appeal of NCAA football versus professional football. What is the appeal over one?
For me personally, I'm not a big college football fan. I don't have an allegiance to a school. I dropped out of ECU when I lived in North Carolina. I didn't care about the UNC NC State rivalry. I'm in the center of Ohio State fandom. Don't care at all. I like the recruiting and building aspect of it. I like taking a small school like Kent State, and I like building my program, my whatever, my coordinator, my coach, or building the school, building up the school to a 4-star program. I like that because if you play deep into a Madden dynasty, I'm a big dynasty person.
Okay.
Play deep into a Madden dynasty. If you're 5 years into it, you might not know a lot of these incoming rookies and stuff, especially if you can't import draft classes. You're not going to, it's just all created. It's all created players of okay, why do I want to use some guy I've never heard of? College football, I don't know any of these people anyway. So it's all just new people to me that I can help build, and I don't have an attachment to any of these players. Or, if you're playing Madden, typically, I think this might not be the case for everybody. You want to use guys you're familiar with. You want to play as Patrick Mahomes and things,
sure.
Right? You want to use guys who you actually know. And then if you're not using Patrick Mahomes, okay, well, why am I doing this? I just want to use the guys that I know. College football, I don't know anybody. So I can just build and craft the guys and use guys just that I want to use.
That explained it. Well, that was very informative. The game looks great, though.
It's very fun. For
the movements look fantastic. It looks great.
It's obviously flawed as an EA game. I'm not going to sit here and be EA Sports finally made a perfect video game, because that hasn't happened in years. But the nostalgia feel for it is completely there. The layers to it when it comes to recruiting and superstar mode, or whatever they call it, road to glory, is very in depth, and the gameplay is actually good. I've had some minor gripes about it, but I think using sliders and stuff, I can probably fix a few of those things. But overall,
I think I'm going to check it out.
Like it.
I'm going to check it out.
So
Yeah.
Why Soulable's asking a very important question.
Yes.
Here's a big question. Is it a bunch of stupid microtransaction team builder BS? I'm sure if you play the friggin' Ultimate Team, that's all those modes is microtransaction stuff. I never play that stuff. I don't play it on NBA 2K. I don't play it on NHL. I don't play any of that shit. So I never have to get bogged down in the microtransaction stuff because I don't play it.
My ride's here. I must leave.
Go catch your train to hell.
Kisses.
We love you.
For your hell.
Welcome back, buddy.
Bye, Andrew Zarian. Be safe.
The one and only.
If the first thing you did when you bought NCAA 25 was play Ultimate Team, which did not exist, I don't think. Maybe it did. I don't fucking know. I don't think it existed in NCAA 14. If the first thing you did was buy Ultimate Team, you should be banned from playing video games forever. You should never be allowed to play another video game.
I saw several people with that take, and I immediately, I looked into it, and I was like, "Oh no, I understand. I understand. This is not a good. This is not a good feature in a game. It's not a good setting.
Shouldn't be allowed to play it."
So yesterday was a very strange day for me, Jeremy.
Okay.
The power. Okay, so there was torrential rain in the city of Toronto. It was very bad. The city in a lot of places was flooded. The Don Valley Parkway, for those who don't know, it's one of the major connecting parkways throughout the city, flooded. Like up to the roofs of people's cars, flooded. My wife and I are currently in the process of regaining our licenses because they expired during the pandemic, and we just didn't have a chance to renew them because we have a G class system where it goes 1, 2, and then a full G. Once you get the full G, you don't have to retest. But we were on our G2s, yada yada. It expired, so we had to redo it. So we're doing some in-car driving, and we went out in this torrential rainfall for a drive, and we were like, "Oh, it can't get much worse than this, right?" And we get home and we settle. We start working for an hour. Pew, everything goes down. Power out in our building.
For you.
Exactly. The Wyatts are coming after us. It's bad. And I live in a 24-story building with a sister building of 17 floors next door. Nobody expected this. All of a sudden, it all goes down. And the power never goes out here. So we're all very confused. Next thing you know, we find out that the whole west end of the city of Toronto, power is out in like huge, wide swaths of the city. And Jeremy, you were just here. You saw just pieces of Toronto. You can attest to the fact that this is a very large city. So for half of it to be out, it was absolutely wild. I go to an area town where luckily the power's still on, and my kid happens to be in daycare there. So I go and spend some time there, pick him up, bring him home. He has no idea what's going on, by the way. Power's still out. Power's out till almost 9 o'clock last night. Power goes on in our building. This is where it gets hilarious. Mentioned my kid. Put him down at his normal time. He went to sleep at his normal time. Everything's fine. Everyone was like, "Oh, isn't it really weird that your kid how did he take to all this power outage stuff?" I'm like, "It's fine. He didn't notice until we did bedtime and there was a flashlight on instead of a nightlight." So I put him down, goes to sleep. Power comes back on. All of a sudden, the building, all the fire alarms, because they're all on the same circuit, they're not battery operated, they're all on like a powered grid circuit, beeping like mad. Every room in the house, fire alarms going off. And my wife and I are like, "What the fuck do we do?" And we go and we look at the camera. My kid is still asleep. He slept through the fire alarm going off in this building. God bless. We go in and we check, and my wife is like, "Is he still breathing?" He's still breathing. We're cool. He was fine. But the weather knocking out half of a city's power was insane, and it completely put me back on my day. So like dishes are in the sink, got to be cleaned up, got to do the groceries. Wild day. Couldn't have played any football games if I tried. Street trash.
Glad you're okay, Joel.
Glad I'm
you're
okay
safe.
too.
Glad your kid is safe. Glad your wife is safe.
Are you glad that I'm safe?
I said I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're safe. Do you not listen?
No, I don't. I was fielding messages from people on guests and stuff. Kid slept right through it. Couldn't believe it.
Good on him.
Anyway, heck of a show today. Got plenty to talk about. Allegedly, there is
Do we?
wrestling. Yeah, we gotta do the stuff. We gotta talk about some of it. Sometimes people show up and want to talk about more stuff. Sometimes you just gotta let them. You're the one who wanted to be the biggest football player fan in the world.
He doesn't have the game.
Tables, baby. Table for 3. He's back.
Table, baby. Let's go. What's up, House? How we doing?
I'm gonna ignore you.
Mr.
I'm gonna
Joel,
ignore you,
my
and I'm
friend.
gonna play college football, which you can't do because you're waiting for it on the PC, which I don't know if it's ever gonna come out for there.
PC.
Get a
Who
console
knows?
like a real man, and then meet me online.
Dude, calm down. All right, I would whip you first day on NCAA. All right. Some people play for fun, and some people play to win. I said some people play for fun, and some people play to win. And there's a big difference. I want to make sure my microphone's on the right deal this time. Yeah, it should be. Okay.
We'll find
Hi,
out.
Joel. That's my buddy.
That's the one. That's the mic up ahead.
Yeah. I was making sure it was good.
Oh yeah, you got the right one. You're good. Get that boom in the shot. Yeah, now it's a real wrestling show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm good, man. How are you doing? It's good to see you as always.
Man, it is good to be back. It's good to see you. This guy's all right. Got to see you guys up in Canada a couple of weeks ago. That was nice.
Yeah, I got to drop the interview. I gotta piece together that interview and make it shine and get that out for people because I'm sure they want to see the conversation, lively as it was between yourself and Jeremy.
He tried to throw me out a window from the 3rd story.
Allegedly.
There's video evidence of you carrying me out of the camera over to a window on the 3rd story.
Allegedly. This is all alleged. Joel was there.
I was
there. We had a great conversation.
There's 2 witnesses.
Did not happen. Shook, what's up? How we doing? From the window to the wall, Jeremy did not go through a table. See, I'm safe.
It's true.
Safety first.
There were allegations.
Are you okay? You competed in a demolition derby this weekend?
I am okay. I actually ran a car twice. I had a fuel leak both times, which took me out, which sucked. Probably would have placed top 3 in at least one of the heats.
You should have used Gorilla Glue or something.
Listen, man. We're going to have to use Gorilla Glue to piece you back together after you go through a table. August 23rd in Spencer, Indiana, when we present the Smitty, a one-night 16-person wrestling tournament to decide who could truly be number 1. Because remember, Jeremy, there could only be one number 1. And there's one guy, Mr. Joel, one guy who has a date with Destiny, I would say. Would you think that?
I would think so. Is Destiny the name of a piece of wood attached to pieces of metal?
No.
The
tables don't have names.
They do if you spray paint them.
A Fightful in the Weaves Destiny table?
What?
No. We got to get our chat can sponsor that table.
Listen.
Leave it is expensive and get your name put on the table that I get put through. Is this a gimmick we're running here?
I didn't say it, but I'm also not opposed to the idea of donate a super chat. And
you just had this fascination with tables lately, dude, and I'm worried for you. Wreckfest is a top video game. Wreckfest is a video game. Somebody Solo Abel posted in it.
Why Solo?
Why Solo? Okay, I'm not that smart, dude. Okay, all right. The smartest thing I've done is run the SpongeBob show going down August 23rd, Spencer, Indiana, at the Owen Valley Sports Complex. Jeremy's going to be there. Table's going to be there. Going to be a good time. But yeah, shout out Fallout was the predecessor to Wreckfest.
I'm seeing this article that Jeremy wrote about this Ultimate X match in a church.
Yeah.
And I saw that we'd also run the video, and I'm like, this is every single North.
Yeah, can we run the video?
I can't run the video, but if you look on our Fightful Twitter page, we did post the news video, and I'm just sitting here like, it's great that it's Ultimate X, that's great, but also like running a church is every single North American indies like home stomping grounds. What's so cool about that?
I don't know. What's cool is it got put in our chat, and I had to do it. So
that's pretty cool. Hardest working man in the business.
Yeah. I just want to play college football. I don't feel like doing any work.
That's me. I get it. That Friday, I'm going to be on that train heading to Montreal, and I am just going to be playing video games. Whole ride.
What video game are you playing?
I alternate right now. I was playing Crash Bandicoot for a while, the old ones. That game gets hard after a while. It's a weird platformer, man. And then I'll go back to the Marios. Maybe I'll start playing Bowser's Fury today. I haven't had a chance. I don't have time to play video games. And then when I do, I'm like, I got to immerse myself. I got to sit in my chair and just hunker down. So that's going to be the train ride. 5 hours of just Mario.
Why is he looking at me like that?
Why are you looking so weird, dude? You're bugging out.
I'm tired, Cole. I'm tired.
You're tired. Hey, listen, you're going to get a great nap the night of August 23rd. After the Smitty, the biggest show under the season since 2019.
You know what?
We got guys like Reese Maddox, who's making his debut actually this weekend in Iowa. He's making his debut, so he's going to be brand new. You got guys like Hillbilly Jed, legends in the Indiana wrestling scene who've been around for 20 years. You have people like Billy Starks, the current Ring of Honor women's TV champion. Am I right or wrong? Right?
You are correct, sir.
Correct. You got John Wayne Murdoch. I'm gonna
fake a neck injury like Billy to get out of it.
Okay.
It'll only get you so far, because now that there have been fake neck injuries, people will see through it, and then they'll put you through that table.
No.
Listen, man. Listen, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna have a good time, and who knows? Maybe at the end of the night, Jeremy puts somebody through a table.
Okay.
They'd have to do a lot of work. He acts like I cannot see him. They would have to do a lot of work for me to put them through a table.
Oh, this is a good point.
What is this?
Maybe some neck brace fashion tips from Chelsea Green.
You cannot truly see me.
Hold on. There we go. I have my
shout out. Like these were like the Big Lots figures when you were.
I think I have that figure.
I had this when I was a kid for sure, because this was the main belt I used because it was like the best version of the spinner belt that I had. They had some low-key heaters, you know?
I don't have any of those. Look at that.
That's what I'm going to go on August 23rd.
I raise you.
Spencer, Indiana. The only figure I have is at least near me.
I have his book.
Orange Cassidy.
Oh yeah. Sunglasses come off though too, right?
Yes. He's giving a thumbs down there. Orange Cassidy with a thumbs down to Jeremy going through a table.
But he's gonna give a thumbs up to the Smitty.
Yes, thumbs up to the Smitty, thumbs down to Jeremy going through a table.
Oh, I raise you. Shout out Love Wrestling. Got to see those guys at up in Canada for Northern Cal, so shout out to them. But also
they're gonna be joining us next week, Jeremy. I should probably tell you they're gonna join us.
Yeah, Chuck Liddell. I have that downstairs. I have a bunch of my figures downstairs, which I cannot get.
For the audio listeners, no, Chuck Liddell.
Bring on Orange Cassidy. Bring him on, dude.
I have a Chuck Liddell figure downstairs. I have a Tito Ortiz Chuck Liddell. It's one of those round 5 figures.
So Chuck Liddell would be the table, and you're the Tito. You can avoid it. First, you're going to get spanked by Randy Couture. Literally.
Well, hold on.
Shout out MMA knowledge.
Now, as Chuck Liddell is my favorite fighter of all time, but
Chris Lieben, shout out. Well, Chestnut and then Chris Lieben. Okay.
Sadly, I know how Chuck Liddell's career ends. So what if I'm, 2019 Tito Ortiz taking on, and the table is 2019 Chuck Liddell, then I win. I knock him out. Yeah, didn't think about that, did you?
I feel like it's more like a
yeah,
table that
but
doesn't
then,
break.
but you're still at a deficit, 2-1.
I win in the end, though.
So wait, so there's 3 tables, Joel.
So I get put
Hey,
2 of them.
Fightful in the weeds. I'm gonna need some assistance getting all these tables because I thought it was just one, but now you heard it, Joel.
I see that there are many tables in
said
play.
it.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. So yeah, maybe in 2019 when Tito fought Chuck and when the first
That was such a sad
Magician Memorial Tournament happened. Coincidence? I think not. But now we go back to the good times, Joel. We go to 2006, 2005. Prime Chuck, mid Tito, Jeremy Table. It's a match made in heaven. Just like some of the matches for the first round of Smitty are going to be made in heaven. Soon to be announced, probably dropped here to annoy Jeremy.
I'm gonna have a toe injury like Connor to get out of this thing.
Turf toe or gout? What are we talking
I
about here?
don't know. Just
Are we talking COVID toe?
maybe
Comatose?
whatever gets me out of this.
Shout out Aaron Rodgers. Sue me.
Oh,
Don't actually. Shout out Brett Favre.
I don't know if we need to shout him out either. These are problematic people, Cole.
Yeah, we're really batting 1,000 on the problems.
I'm just saying that was a great double Pat McAfee reference. Thank you. That's what I do.
That's okay. Pat just runs to the bathroom a lot. While he's
See,
doing
this guy over here, this
You
guy
didn't know
over here,
what do you this
I
guy
don't.
over here? Yeah.
this guy over here, he's not a fan of the
I
Pat
would never do
McAfee.
that to you.
That's not true. I'm very much a fan of Pat McAfee. I'm just not a fan of
You are.
Pat McAfee when when he's having a rough night, which he seems to have sometimes.
I don't feel like you're an actual fan of Pat McAfee, and you're trying to goad Cole here, and I think you should go to a table.
I feel like if I was goading Cole, he would know. Cole's a very good judge of character. He understands people. But good bullshit meter on that Cole Radrick.
Oh, he hangs out with us.
That is also a valid point.
Cole.
Yes.
Have you heard of Creep by Smashing Pumpkins?
Hey, second time's a charm.
Audience chat, it wasn't funny the first time he tried.
Well, I fucked it up the first time, so.
Yes, I have heard of Creep
Yeah.
by the Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins? It's a good song. Yeah.
I know, I like the Radiohead version better.
Nah. I mean, it's a what do they call those things?
Remixes?
No, it's not a remix.
Covers?
A
Cover. Yeah, a cover. Yeah.
Just like your buddy will cover the table August 23rd.
Can you leave?
No.
What?
Can you leave?
No, why would we kick out a guest? We don't do that on this show. We let them get their
He's
stuff
mean
over.
to me.
So what? You tell people to be mean to me all the time. We spent the entire first year you trying to get people to fight me on stream.
That was funny.
And so is this.
The difference is that was never close to happening. I'm 6 weeks.
I came into contact with many of our
Oh, wait.
interviewees.
You got 5 weeks,
after.
brother. 5 weeks.
5 weeks? I mean,
5 weeks.
yeah, that August 23rd. Yeah, that makes
We're
sense.
at over 100 pre-sale tickets sold. Front row and VIP front row all sold out.
Let's go.
Huge show. 16 competitors. 3 rounds. Don't worry, the show's not going to go 8 hours. Professionally timed out. Everyone's going to go home happy, fulfilled. We're going to have a great time. We will have an EMT or 5 on standby for Jeremy. And Joel, I think we have to start off the week after the Smitty. Me and you holding maybe just a moment of silence for our friend Jeremy.
Maybe you'll co-host the show with me.
Maybe I co-host the show.
Jeremy can join us from his hospital bed.
Or we can send up a stairway to heaven. Get a microphone.
When they built that ladder to heaven.
I need you to know there's a wrestler that there's a wrestler. He's an asshole, but Hayden Backlund put out a video, and he had the smallest South Park reference that like unless you like truly watch South Park, you would understand it. And I messaged him and I said, "Hey, why did you say specifically this word?" And he goes, "Oh, because the South Park reference." I'm standing on the table for this dude. He's my favorite, one of my favorite people of all time. All right, just like John Wayne Murdoch, just like Hoodfoot, just like August Matthews, Davey Bang, Trevor Outlaw, Rachel Armstrong, Dex Royal, Dylan Cole, Braid Toon, Hunter Drake, Rachel Armstrong. I think I already said Rachel. Billy Starks, John Wayne Murdoch, Hillbilly Jed, Reese Maddox, and so many more that are going to be featured on the second non-annual Smitty Werman Jagerman Jensen Memorial Tournament going down August 23rd, Spencer, Indiana, at the Yeoman Valley Sports Complex. Front row, completely sold out. VIP, sold out. GA, available while it lasts. Beer to those over 21 plus. Drink responsibly. Don't ruin it for others. We're here to have a good time for all ages. Everybody will have a fun time. Jeremy, not so much. But listen.
Then you lied.
You come out.
You said everybody will have a fun time.
Well, everyone except the dirt sheet guy.
Dirt sheet guy.
Sean Rossap's not going to be there.
Well, I mean, he did talk about coming to support you.
Did he?
Yeah, in your table ventures.
Huh. Well,
he's gonna be dead at the hands of Effie.
What if
we got to do our Q&A this afternoon in preparation for that?
Wait, is Sean nearby? Is Sean listening? Is he?
Probably
is he
not.
He's always
an overlord.
No, he has better
Sean,
to do than listen to this show.
If you can run here, I have a question for you. But if not, we will sidestep with Jeremy. What is your best prediction for the Carolina Panthers this year?
Oh, we're gonna suck. I don't know, like 4 and whatever.
Is Bryce Young the player of the future?
I think Bryce Young will be okay. A new coach. I like the coach. He's
but is
done
he
well
the player of the future?
At least for the next 5 years. I mean, that's the future. So yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
What about the Colts? I don't even know who their quarterback is. He was injured last year.
That's disrespectful.
He was
Anthony Richardson.
Oh, Anthony Richardson. I legit forgot his name.
Future comeback player of the year.
Okay. Good luck.
The GOAT, the BOAT, the best of all time. And I'm assuming Sean's too busy, but I just want to say I love you guys. And who knows? There's a Goofy Goober Battle Royal potentially. And maybe there's tables, and maybe if we could convince Sean to come out and have a good time. Maybe
will there be a post-show press conference?
So
none of this.
Potentially.
Sounds awful.
Oh, I am here for the post-show Smitty
press conference. Post-show Smitty press conference? Definite idea.
The post-Smitty presser.
This sounds terrible.
Post-Smitty presser.
Yes.
I love it. All right, gentlemen, I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a good time. Joel, Jeremy,
Cole.
See you soon. Joel, love you, buddy. It was great seeing you guys in Canada. I will be at GCW all weekend long. GCW Louisville, GCW St. Louis, GCW Indianapolis. Lou, if you buy tickets today, we will have some form of a post-show press conference.
Oh, that's awful.
There it is.
Awful.
There it is.
You'll see Sean tomorrow. Ask him about this, whatever, killing me tomorrow.
That's true. You will be seeing Sean.
Hey, I'm just saying. What if Jeremy Lambert, Fightful in the Weeds, overbooked? Pain is the first entry into the Goofy Goober Invitational pre-show Battle Royal.
It's an invitation.
I didn't hear the invitation because my internet cut out.
Oh, well, it works perfectly for the rest of us. Love y'all.
Thank you, Cole.
No.
Oh, it's okay. The man just wants to give you the rub. Let him.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. He has a big show. He
Joel,
wants you to be a
Joel,
part of it.
Joel.
What?
I know you do not listen to this show. I know. But do you not understand when he says I'm going through a table, when I might die, when I might have a long net? This is not him being nice to me. I understand you do not listen to the show. There's no part of this of I'm trying to be nice to Jeremy. It is all I'm trying to kill and harm Jeremy. Open your ears.
No, I really think he just wants to do best by you. Come on, you saw him in Toronto. He was having a good time with you. Talking about tables.
Tried to throw me through a window.
No, he didn't. He put you out. You'll see the footage. Everyone can make their own assumption and assessment of what happened or didn't happen in Toronto.
He picks me up, he carries me over to a window, and he is going to throw me through the window.
Don't know about that. We'll let the audience decide. I think he was just being a good pal.
The audience doesn't like me, and the
The
audience is
loves
probably
you.
going to side with them.
Come on, the audience. Come on. If you're listening, throw a "We love Jeremy" in the chat. Tell him you love him. Leave a thumbs up on the video. That's going to help you. That'll get us there.
You are doing that to eulogize me.
No, I'm not. I'm doing it to prove once and for all that this chat loves you. They appreciate you and they want you to succeed in life, just like I do.
I have a wife. I have 12 kids. I cannot leave them and die. This website will not survive.
That last part is true. That is the most truest of statements. The scoops will come, but the news will not be reported. Y'all don't understand. See, justified we love Jeremy chats. Don't look at the one above it. Don't look at the one above it. Just don't pay attention to it. This is actually a good question. He didn't phrase it as a question, but would you have to write an article about how you went through a table? Would you write your own article?
I'm going to be dead.
No, you won't. Look at this. Platonic love you, Jeremy. I'm putting words in Remety's mouth.
Someone's username on Twitter is Crody Rhodes. Popped me.
Is that your burner? Is that what are you trying to tell us that that's your burner?
No, but that's a good username.
That's a great username, Crody Rhodes. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Thank you, Cole, for joining us this morning. That was fun. Listen, I'm gonna be perfectly straight with everyone for a second. This show, and Cole has said as much, so we're not talking to school because it's in our interview too. It's an important show for him. He really is pulling out all the stops and wanting to do the best that he can for this particular Smitty, for the event. He wants it to be a success. We want it to be a success with him. So go ahead, support him, please, if you can. If you're in the area, near the area, you can drive to the area and you want to watch some good wrestling, go support our pal. And just go have fun. There are a lot of really fun names that are going to be part of the show. I'm not saying anything extra. I don't know if you wanted to add to it.
No.
He's your friend.
Allegedly.
All right. Well, where should we start? There's a lot to actually have to talk about. There's TV stuff. There is unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at this conversation, there's lawsuit updates when it comes to Janelle Grant and the lawsuit against WWE. First update that we've had in a month. I guess since I brought it up, we can then transition to TV after this. But let's. Do you want to just talk about this Janelle Grant update and the new petitions that were filed?
Yes. I mean, there was a petition filed against, let me get all the correct details here.
Yeah, it's Dr. Carlin Kolker and his clinic, Peak Wellness Inc. This is coming from postwrestling.com. This was Brandon Thurston,
and
John Pollock, and WrestleNomics. So Thurston and Pollock both reported on this. So go ahead.
So Janelle Grant and her team filed a lawsuit against Peak Wellness Fitness, and and Dr. Kolker, Carlin Kolker, alleging that she was sent to the clinic under the direction of Vince McMahon in November 2019 and received treatments that weren't disclosed to her, including pills and IV fusions. She said that when she asked about the substances and everything, he pushed back and questioned whether, why don't you trust me? And there was in the lawsuit, there was physical therapist listed and alternative clinic listed. It was not specifically stated that it was Dr. Coker and Wellness Fitness. It wasn't even, when they did this article, it wasn't even confirmed of that. Vince McMahon's team and spokesperson, when they put out a statement, they basically confirmed that that's who it was talking about. But Grant also alleges that a Peak Wellness Fitness employee was involved in several instances of sexual abuse against Miss Grant by McMahon, as further described in Miss Grant's federal complaint. So that she's looking for the wellness records. Of course, Vince's team put out a statement saying that any conversation they had, the statement is Miss Grant's petition for pre-action discovery against Dr. Coker is a direct violation of the court-ordered stay and nothing more than an attempt to generate publicity on her false allegations and to harass people connected to Mr. McMahon, who is being sued by Miss Grant in a separate matter. The facts are that Miss Grant told Mr. McMahon she was fatigued and asked him to recommend a doctor. Miss Grant called Dr. Coker and became a patient of his. Her statement in this filing is inconsistent with her prior remarks. Miss Grant never had anything but good things to say about the doctor when speaking to Mr. McMahon and others about him. We will see if the records, if she's able to get these records. The wellness fitness allegedly treated on top of McMahon, but employees and talents of WWE as well. So there's some connections there, and we will see what comes out of this.
Yeah, originally he was called Celebrity Doctor, anonymized as Celebrity Doctor, and so as this has come out, the doctor is known to have worked with Justin Bieber, Jeremy Piven, members of the NBA, including Shaq, and was on Shaq's Big Challenge, and that was an ABC show that addressed challenges with childhood obesity. So there is connections there to other high-level celebrities, and so the part where he may have been working with WWE talent isn't as surprising when you realize that he's connected through Hollywood to other celebrities as well. But this is just more updates and more information that's coming out of this lawsuit, that it's not going away. Like we said, this is the first piece of information that we've had in a month ever since the stay was given. The judge approved that stay back in June for the civil lawsuit, because there is looking into the federal portion of this lawsuit. So that's just what's going on. We said that we would continue talking about it. We said that we would get the updates. Again, I encourage anyone who's looking to keep up on this to tune into Pollock and Thurston and consume what they're doing, because they are the ones who have been on this case and keeping up with this case and breaking news on this case. They are the ones who are definitely tackling it head on, and I give them all the credit in the world for being the voices in wrestling to do that, because there are enough people who are telling people, why aren't all the podcasters talking about it? And Jeremy, you and I have talked about this. Not everyone is comfortable. Not everyone is confident. Not everyone is in a position to want to talk about this in a concise manner, in a clear manner. So we have taken it upon ourselves to be people in this space that continue to update and be a part of that conversation, and to inform our audience as to what's going on. And we push our audience as well to go and seek out the information from the sources, like we said, Pollock and Thurston behind that.
Yeah, more information will continue to come out, and right now the lawsuit is on pause while the federal investigation continues, and we'll see if she gets these records and what they might show. And none of this is good. Just none of this is good.
It isn't. And again, we do it because we keep everyone abreast of what's going on. We don't shy away from it. And we give the credit to those who are doing the legwork on this. But we continue to keep everyone up to date because that is part of our mandate on In the Weeds. Shall we?
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about TV. That is part of what our show does as well. We move on. We talk about Monday Night Raw. There was well, let's just get into the thumbnail. The idea that maybe Drew McIntyre isn't gonna face CM Punk at SummerSlam. And the reason that I bring this up is because they did a really great segment with Drew McIntyre and Adam Pearce and a couple of referees who were shoved on their asses and made to look like turtles, couldn't get up because they were on their back. Anyway, not important. When Drew was asked to apologize and said no to get his match against CM Punk, it ended up being Seth Rollins who came out and got involved physically with Drew McIntyre. And I and others have thought that that's weird. We know Punk's not going to be there this particular week, but what if Punk's just not going to be ready in time? What do you think? Is there a chance that it's going to be Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre instead, and that Punk is not cleared in time for SummerSlam?
It seems like it's a possibility, because if they thought Punk was going to be cleared, they probably would go ahead and announce that, just like they did with Rhea and Liv. They've done. Rhea's apparently not going to wrestle until SummerSlam, which I thought was kind of obvious anyway, but it might be because she's not cleared, but they're obviously pretty confident she'll be cleared by SummerSlam if they're going to announce the match. I think if CM Punk was in that same boat, they would go ahead and announce the match. And maybe they will announce the match this upcoming week, and they'll be confident he's cleared at that point.
Is there a possibility that this becomes an unsanctioned match, given the...
No,
again,
because an unsanctioned match just means
it means you're cleared, but it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of the titles if you're a sports-like presentation. I agree with you. That's why I'm putting it out there, because others, including our chat, have said I think it'll be an unsanctioned match. And I kind of said to myself, that doesn't really work, because the idea is whether or not Punk can go. Well, whether he's cleared in real life to have a match.
Yeah, you can do an unsanctioned match in the story of like, oh, you're not cleared, we can't sanction this, but let's do an unsanctioned match to protect from that. But that still means he's actually cleared in real life. We were talking about the real life clearance of CM Punk, not the kayfabe clearance of CM Punk. So yeah, sure, in kayfabe it might be an unsanctioned match, but that means he's actually cleared.
Which also has only really come up once in this whole story, whether or not CM Punk is cleared. And that was him saying at a presser after Clash at the Castle, I'm going to be at SmackDown and I hope I'm going to have good news about my clearance. And other than that, he hasn't talked about it on television other than when he's asked at a press conference.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not really expecting this to be part of the story. And then others, I see Zeno Howard in the chat saying Rollins is a special guest ref. I don't really think this needs a special referee. If you're going to do Punk and Drew, the story stands on its own, and it stands strongly on its own. To add Rollins is just kind of shoehorning him into something that, he was a part of first, but doesn't need to be part of in a decision-making story.
I don't think it's shoehorning him in. He's there. He's not just being thrown in there. We saw the interaction with Punk last week. We saw the interaction with Drew this week. Like, he's part of it. I don't think it's a shoehorn. I just think it's an unnecessary thing for Rollins to be a guest ref. At that point, just make it a triple threat. Like, you don't need to do Seth Rollins being a guest ref. If anything, if Punk's not cleared, Punk as a guest ref for Drew and Seth kind of makes more sense.
Yeah, him being the catalyst and the asshole to both men. I don't like the idea of a triple threat only because that's what the Money in the Bank match became. Or not the Money in the Bank, the world title match at Money in the Bank. Now you're just subbing out Damian Priest and adding CM Punk. And, well, Punk isn't the champion. So what's the point of a triple threat in this case? You can call it a number one contendership match, but again, the title was never the reason for these problems. And to add the championship just kind of becomes, we're just doing it to have a stipulation added that's beyond the triple threat, or stakes added to a triple threat match. I would rather it just be one-on-one. Drew versus CM Punk is the match I would love to see, but it feels like if Punk's not ready, then, and he's got some time, but if Punk's not ready, then Rollins is kind of the next best character. They have a short runway to make it work between those two.
I don't think that it should be a triple threat either, by the way. I'm not advocating for that. I think Punk as a guest referee for Drew and Seth, assuming Punk is not cleared, makes the most sense. If Punk is cleared, I think Drew and Punk one-on-one makes the most sense. Seth on commentary. And maybe that's not maybe you can figure something else out for Seth, but he doesn't really have any other program going on right now. The commentary part makes sense because Punk was on commentary for him against Drew at WrestleMania, and Seth can get his shots in there. He would obviously, I'm sure, get involved in some, I don't want to say obviously, but he would likely get involved in some manner. So you can continue to heat whatever story, whether it's him and Drew or whether it's him and Punk, however you're going to play that. But without him being the referee and having that kind of, in my opinion, unnecessary authority in the match, I think he can get things over more on commentary while still playing into the story as opposed to being the referee for that. But Punk makes a lot of sense as the referee for Drew and Seth because of everything he's done against Drew and against technically Seth at Money in the Bank.
And chat's pointing out that this could be the SummerSlam 97 match where HBK, and this is why it doesn't work, because this is an HBK story that we're telling on WWE TV. It's not a Triple H story we're telling here. That's what it's supposed to be, right? HBK only tells his stories. He only rehashes them on Tuesdays. So for this to happen, it would be very strange. But at SummerSlam 97, he was the referee, special guest for Brett versus Undertaker. And then he wanted to screw Brett, but he ended up screwing really everyone at the end. And he hated both men, which is very very on brand for HBK at the time. And so that could be rehashing that, having Punk as the special guest referee. He hates both men. He screws both men. Drew gets the win because he accidentally screws him into the win, is what I'm saying. Because remember, the Punk story is, I don't want Drew to have anything. No victories, no nothing. But an errant chair or a errant shot to the head, whatever, knocks out Seth Rollins. Drew takes advantage and Punk has to count the 3, which is like the most demeaning, upsetting thing you could possibly do in this story for Punk. And he'd be so pissed off having to do it, but he would have to do it.
All right, so in this scenario, CM Punk accidentally hits Seth Rollins with the chair. Drew McIntyre gets the victory. CM Punk against Seth Rollins at Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell. Drew McIntyre defeats Damian Priest or Gunther to win the WWE title. At some point, CM Punk defeats Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. CM Punk against Drew McIntyre at Survivor Series. CM Punk has him locked into the Anaconda Vice. The bell rings. And we have the
LA screw
Los
job.
Angeles screw job.
Allegedly LA.
Allegedly LA. And AEW gets Drew McIntyre because WWE regrets the big contract they just signed him to.
I like it. Use it, clip it. That's the shorts. we just booked the rest of the year for CM Punk, Drew, and for Seth Rollins. Gunther and Damian Priest be damned. That match does not matter. Just look past it. It's the 3 men in the ring are the ones that will absolutely count. Technically, Damian Priest will count because of the Bad Blood, and that's October, so you got to get a couple months. But the rest of the time, and also forget the part where they go to Saudi Arabia. Ignore that part. November, beginning of November, doesn't count. Doesn't happen. Everything else, Jeremy got, that's happening. And do a Drew screwed Drew the next night. That's right. I have no notes. That is the perfect, like we can go home now. We can go play video games now.
Okay.
I know you're happy about that. But on the other side, let's talk about what happened with Street Trash and Gunther. That was a hell of a promo between those two. Damian Priest and Gunther had a little meeting in the middle, and they are heating up their match for SummerSlam. I think they did a good job of making Gunther the definitive heel between the two. I know people want to cheer him, but they're also really doing that push for Damian Priest and his babyface turn. And they're doing a good job with it. I like the promo. I like the way that it's going. I'm really starting to think that Gunther's going to lose this match, but we'll see what plays out in the next few weeks. What did you think of this promo with Gunther and Damian Priest is his name?
I thought Priest beating Braun Strowman did more for him than this promo.
Hell of a sell from Braun Strowman in that knee. My God.
That was a good victory for Priest to put more legitimacy on this reign. I thought Gunther was fantastic in this promo. Him just saying, give a fuck about your dream, dude. Care that you had to work your way up and you were living out of your car. Care about that shit. Just here to beat ass and take titles. That's what I'm here to do. Gunther rules. Because good. We need wrestlers like that. Who just, oh, it's my dream to WrestleMania, main event WrestleMania, win these titles and stuff. It's like, it's not my dream. I'm just good at this. So this is what I'm going to do. That's my dream. Just beating people up. And if I win titles and if I main events on the way, great. Gunther rules.
Gunther chopping homeless people and telling them to get a job. God damn. That's awful.
Habib Nurmagomedov did that ahead of the Conor fight, and people weren't too thrilled with that.
Did he pay them at least?
Yeah, he paid them to like
stand in, get beat.
Basically, yeah.
It's not great. Anyway, the people are mentioning, Gunther loses but then wins at Bash in Berlin. Can we stop the Gunther is going to win at Bash in Berlin? They have shown you, WWE has shown you time and again that when they go to people's hometowns, they will put multiple wrestlers from that area on the card, and one of them will win, and it's never the main eventer. Chelsea Green didn't win Money in the Bank. Sami Zayn did retain the Intercontinental Championship. Drew did not capture the title in Wales, in Cardiff. Either in Cardiff or in Scotland. He's from Scotland, but he was also...
Sami Zayn did.
No, I know Sammy won, but I'm saying when they went to Scotland, Drew didn't win, but Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, they won. My point is they'll put multiple people from the same areas on the card, but the big winners will never be the main eventers. That's why I'm saying Ludwig Kaiser, new Intercontinental Champion by the end of August. That's what you're going to get. Gunther is not going to win. Gunther is not winning the title, not retaining the title. But 100%, the Kaiser is winning something at that show.
Okay. I disagree, but okay.
You think Gunther's going to win?
I think Gunther's going to retain. I think he's winning at SummerSlam.
I don't think so. I think the Priest story still has more, and I think that them hardlining Gunther as the heel is going to allow for Gunther to eat the L. And Priest to continue his build as a credible, worthwhile heavyweight champion.
I think he's there. He's done well. He's got too much stuff going on with the Judgment Day that the title doesn't need to be fully involved with that. And him losing the title will help further babyface him because he's done the line of, like, I don't need y'all. I'm the champion. So him losing the title while Finn and JD are still the tag team champions. Rhea, I'm not positive, is going to win the title back.
Oh, I don't think she is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We want to tee that up real quick.
Sure.
Ripley's back. Opening segment. They did the everyone's favorite good father camera, long camera shot. Follow me, she says. She goes to the ring. She cuts a great promo. Dirty Dom comes out, gets booed, and he's upset, but he can't get a word in edgewise. And then they make the match. Rhea Ripley sets it out. She wants Liv Morgan at SummerSlam for the World Women's Championship. Liv, of course, accepts. She's soaking wet, but not at the same time. Very confusing look from Liv Morgan this week. Regardless,
those are like those jeans that like they rip up and they dirty up on purpose. Like, why?
You talking about Ripley's?
No, just in general. You've seen people in these jeans. This is a big hit.
Yeah, like
Joel.
Jenko jeans.
I don't know if Jenko ever
big bulky ones with rips in them. Anyway,
maybe
it's a thing. It's not my thing. I'm not there. I don't want to wear big-legged pants. It wouldn't look good on me. So anyway, Rhea Ripley's wearing them, but she accepts. And of course, the whole story of the night, the big thread throughout the night of Raw was Ripley and Dom and their semi-reconciliation that wasn't really a reconciliation. Carlito is apparently anti-misogyny, which was like the funniest little background thing of the night. If you noticed it, when Dom was like, you're my girl. And then you have everyone freezes and Carlito's like, no, not cool. And I'm just like, oh, Carlito's standing up for misogyny. Good for him. But yeah, this is where we're at. I don't think Ripley's going to win either. I think Ripley's going to lose because she can at SummerSlam and it won't look bad. Yeah, give me your thoughts on that whole evening of theater of telenovela.
It was good. It was fun. Dominic did the Eddie Guerrero thing, as we all kind of expected. And then Rhea said, you're mine. So she's still claiming ownership of Dominic. We will see how Dominic responds. And if he is, as we've talked about, him kind of falling for Liv in that Liv doesn't claim him like that. Liv calls him daddy. Liv is what's the word I'm kind of looking for without, shooting myself in the tongue here.
In the tongue?
Yeah, because, it's...
I think that's a piercing when you shoot yourself in the tongue.
Well, I mean, technically, sure. But Liv likes to give Dominic the control in this. And Dominic might like that. They did bring up, I helped him beat Ray. I helped him beat his father. Never did that with your help. So at some point, Dom might be like, you know what? Liv was actually good for me. And that might babyface Rhea. And that's where this could end up going. And that's why at SummerSlam, that could be the big turn, is Dominic turns on Rhea and aligns with Liv. And then Judgment Day, again, Rhea doesn't have a title. Priest losing, he doesn't have a title. It's just Finn and JD. They got the titles, and so they kind of are just the top duo. And they establish further as heels there, while Priest and Rhea try to just figure things out and go further into a babyface role.
At one point, Liv will absolutely make the line of like, Rhea Ripley is your Dom, but you're my Dom. And so, and people will be like, oh, because Boris in the chat saying Liv submissive, and that's kind of the idea that she is giving him she's giving him the air of having power, but meanwhile she's the manipulative one. She's the one who is manipulating Dominic into thinking that he has not only the power in the relationship, but in the dynamic, and therefore he deserves more than what Rhea gives to him. When, again, their relationship, I mentioned this a million times, and I'll say it again, Rhea and Dom's relationship was it was more platonic than romantic. Because you never see them interact physically on stage. You never see that. They don't kiss, they don't hold hands, they hug, but like I hug my best women friends all the time. We're not physically linked, we're not romantically linked. So the Rhea Dom story has always been, to me, one of kind of like an acceptance and empowerment in the weirdest way, whereas Liv is trying to make it a physical romantic relationship and play him as the dominant when really she's manipulating him. So Dominic's going to be stupid young boy who thinks that this is the way love works. And it's probably going to start that, like you said, a turn potentially at SummerSlam where he sides with Liv and then eventually sees the light. And that's his big maturity moment. And that's when he cuts his hair. No, probably not. That'd be stupid. He shouldn't cut his hair. Maybe shave the mustache though.
Nah.
No, keep the mustache.
Yeah, it's good heel vibes.
Fair. No, but I'm saying when he turns back and rejoins Rhea, that's when he gets.
Oh, that's like 3 years down the line.
Yeah, that hair is going to be down to his back, and the mustache is going to be, Dutch Mantel style.
Yeah.
I just thought of Dominic Mysterio with like the big coming out.
We do need a Jey Uso and Rhea Ripley Waffle House.
That post, that was so good. That skit needs to happen. And he needs to invite her to Waffle House, and the night after SummerSlam, she's dejected. She lost her man, for lack of a better term. She lost the title match. Her group is feuding. They're all upset. Maybe Jey Uso's riding a high. Maybe he got a big win in a pre-show battle royal. I don't know. He's just like, Mama, let me holler at you. You want to go to Waffle House? And she's just like, yeah, I guess. American food is awful, but yeah, fine. Okay.
I mean, American food might be awful, but
That's
Waffle House is universal.
Those were her words. She said it in an interview that's on our website. She hates American food because she gained too much weight from American food. Those were her feelings.
Get you some waffles, some pancakes, hash brown, toast, bacon, eggs. How you like your eggs? Scrambled?
I like them poached.
Over easy? Medium? Runny? Boiled? How about some grits? Get that sweet tea. Actual sweet tea, not that Canadian garbage lemon tea. All at the Waffle House.
And then Waffle House needs to present that date. That's the table for 3. That's the table for 3. It's Jey Uso, Rhea Ripley, and Waffle House. Do they have is there a Waffle House what's the word? Mascot? Like Wally the Waffle or some shit like that? Does that happen?
There's actually a place called Wally Waffle.
Much worse. Someone look up. Is there a Waffle House mascot? And why isn't it called Wally the Waffle?
I have one of the kids bring me a waffle. We have a waffle mascot.
Oh, someone's saying the Michael Cole yeet should be. The problem is if we do it, we're gonna get demonetized. But I posted it on my social. That was amazing. That was probably the highlight of the night. Yeet! That old son of a bitch. Best.
3 a.m. Waffle House deathmatch. My God. Don't let Cassidy Haynes.
I was gonna say, call Cassidy. He needs to talk about this.
Don't let him show up. Cannot happen.
Yeah, that's if they don't do table for 3 and call it table for yeets. What are we doing here?
Table for yeet.
Table for yeets.
Hey, look at this. This is a waffle mascot right here. It's a squishy waffle.
That's amazing. Wally Waffles.
Yeah.
The official waffle mascot of In the Weeds. Weedy Wally Waffles. Bo Dallas. Speaking of In the Weeds, how good was that? How good was Erick Rowan in that tape? We were talking about the need for more of these cassettes to feature other members of the family, and getting Rowan to be the first one, not Bo Dallas, was really smart and really good. I think Nikki Cross should be the last one because she's the one that we've seen the most, and she's also the one that we don't know. We have an idea what the story could be, but I'm curious about her story. That being said, the stuff with Rowan was so powerful and so good because it's real. And they did a really good job with that. And then, of course, the promo later on, really the beatdown later on, was equally good, and I was a big fan of that. We can dig into that, but let's talk about the Rowan stuff first, because that was, again, it was very impactful and really continuing the story in the right direction, in my opinion.
It was fantastic. Rowan did a great job of, I don't want to say conveying emotion, because the man just spoke. Like, I don't think he had to be told, hey, be sad here. Like, I think he just spoke, and those were real emotions coming out of him. And once we saw where things were going with the Bo therapy sessions, where they mentioned Bray's passing, it kind of set the table for Rowan to do the same thing. And it wasn't as shocking when Rowan did it. Like, when they mentioned Bray's passing in the Bo thing, I audibly was like, oh, wow, they went there. With Rowan, it didn't have that take, because, like, okay, well, they did this with Bo, so it makes sense that they would do this here, which is fine. You're going to draw on real emotion with this stuff. And they drew on real emotion with Rowan, with the passing of Brody Lee, Luke Harper, and the passing of Bray. And yeah, it was raw. It was really good. And I don't have much more to add to it.
Yeah, and there isn't much more to add to it, because they told the story. They told the story of Rowan and why he's part of the group. And like you said, he's suffered enough loss that he doesn't need to be told how to say it or what to emote, because it's lived experience. So really great stuff. And then later on in the night, Chad Gable teased it up earlier by saying, I know who it is. It's Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy. And they're injecting a little bit of comedy into it. And I appreciate it, because it's taking the story and telling you it's important, but it's not that serious. The seriousness is like the why of the Wyatt Six, but it's not the we're going after Chad Gable part of things. Chad Gable's just being an idiot. It's great. He's an idiot. Sorry, you got the video. Are you going to play it, or can I keep talking? You're looking for the video, aren't you?
No.
Okay. Think about Cody's. He's an idiot. Anyway, Gable comes into the room.
See, Cody, he's an idiot.
I saw your eyes darting, looking for it. It's like, come on. Gable comes out.
You just cut out the Cody part and just he's an idiot.
He's an idiot. Yeah, that's all you need.
The Cody part also just sort of makes it. It's universal. Cody is universal for anybody who's an idiot. Cody
Gable. That's what we're talking about here. It's the thing about Cody Gable. He's an idiot. And then he comes out to the ring and says, it's you, Bo Dallas, come out. And Bo Dallas does come out, but he comes out again, no fanfare, no music, no smoke, no nothing. And it's just him. And he gets a good reaction from the crowd. And at this point, again, if you're thinking that this whole thing is supernatural, spooky, it's not. It's not. And we saw Bo Dallas last week in Adam Pearce's office, and when asked about it, Pearce tells Chad Gable, like, no, that was a privy conversation. I'm not going to tell you what we talked about, because that was between us. And so he gets out. Bo Dallas gets his shit kicked out of him by the Creeds. That's like the one thing that people, that's like the bottom tier of the entire segment, is the fact that the Creeds have finally, after so long, aligned themselves with Chad Gable. It's official. We don't have to see them in the background anymore, just talking up. They're officially with them. And they beat down Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is laughing the entire time. They're doing the Joker thing. And then out come the rest of the Wyatts to kind of scare them off to make the save. And it's effective. Chad has PTSD. He hightails it out of there. The Creeds go with them. And they stand tall as the family. I thought this was really effective. I thought this was really well done. And I think, again, the way that they're conveying the story is, we're not just a group of people put together. We are a united front. And when you take down one of our brothers or our leader, we will come after you, but not necessarily with violence until violence is required. I thought this was good.
I hope they never do a wrestling match.
They're going to take off the masks. Well, clearly, I mean, we've seen them all without the mask. Well, we're seeing them without the masks. We know that Rowan is playing the bunny. So, like, there will be wrestling matches, but it feels like the matches are they're going to be the wrestlers and not the characters. I hope the characters never wrestle.
I never want them in a wrestling match. At SummerSlam, it needs to be Gable against Otis. That needs to be the SummerSlam match. Maybe Gable and the Creeds against, I guess, Kofi and Xavier doing the thing with that other group.
What are their names? God,
Not the Wyatt Six.
not the Wyatt. No, the TikTok Six. The Six Talk.
There's not 6 of them. 6 Talk.
Are
There's 5.
is there 5 of them?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Tag team, 10, 5. Yeah, I guess there are 5 of them. So there's 5 Talk.
4 men and a Scarlet.
It's like 2 men and a baby, but much worse.
Yeah. So
anyway, 5 Talk.
Okay, so I don't want to see a match. Needs to be again Gable against Otis, and they just keep coming out. They keep coming out and just interrupting or scaring Gable. I want to see a wrestling match. I don't think a wrestling match is going to go well. And I don't mean it's going to be bad. There's just, you got to do it in a certain way that I don't know how. That's for them to figure out, obviously. It might be a little tough to pull off. I don't want it. I don't want them wrestling anyway. I didn't want them wrestling before they officially debuted. I definitely don't want them wrestling now. I just want them doing spooky, cool stuff and murdering people. That's it. Don't wrestle.
Is it
too much wrestling?
There is too much wrestling, but I gotta give it the wrestling thing for a minute. There's 5 in the Wyatts. There's currently 3 with Chad. You could add a 4th if Ivy Nile goes that way. She's not really anywhere. You could put them back with the Creeds once again, and then you got to add 1 more, and suddenly it's 5 on 5. I'm not advocating for this, by the way. I'm putting it out there because this is something that they might do, is do a 5 on 5, or at least match up the women and the men in this match. So Nikki Cross's character takes on Ivy Nile without the mask, or that Chad, because obviously if they have to do a match, if they do decide to do a match, it's Gable and Bo. That's like the leaders, quote unquote. If they do a tag or they do a 6-man, it feels like they're going to do Rowan and the Mercy character, who we assume is Dexter Lumis, but don't know for sure yet. It'll be those 3 or those 2 with Bo Dallas out. It'll be Rowan and Mercy versus the Creeds. And I don't know where the alleged Joe Gacy comes in on this. I don't know my own creative is what I'm trying to say.
See, this is where I just like the vision for this feels off to me. And what I mean by that is, okay, not Chad Gable, Bo Dallas. He's not going to be Uncle Howdy. He's just going to be wrestler Bo Dallas. He's going to stand at ringside while Gacy, Loomis, and Rowan do the wrestling. Chad Gable Bo Dallas, keep confusing. Bo Dallas just pounding on the mat. Come on, let's go. Rowan. They're just pounding on the mat. Like, just come out as Uncle Howdy and fucking scare him off and kill him, dude. The fuck you being Bo Dallas for? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they just be these people who wrestle when they can be these people who are spooky and murder people? The dynamic is weird to me. Hopefully they have it figured out. But Nikki Cross, we've just seen her in this Sister Abigail stuff, or I guess Witchy the whatever the damn name is.
Abby the Witch.
Abby the Witch, yeah. So
not to be confused with Wally the Weedy Waffle.
So we've seen her in this spooky gear the entire time, and now she's just gonna be Nikki Cross, just wrestler, doing holds with Ivy Nile. Like, I get it. And you know, why Soulable, it's funny, like, this is not offensive at all. I don't consider this comment offensive at all. It's wild to me that we talk about wrestling characters doing matches like it's an obligation. It's a good point. Like, it's very strange because I largely, like, I see where you're coming from. I can't tell you that I'm 100% agree with you, but like, in a wrestling format, eventually they got to fight somebody.
Eventually someone has to fight. And this is the hardest part about wrestling is you can try to tell new stories in new ways, and I'm all for it, and to try new things, be dynamic and be daring. But it's tough to do it in the wrestling world where everything is supposed to wind up in the ring, and everyone is supposed to be vying for championships and being the best. And that's a tough story to tell with a group of vigilantes who are wearing masks, who we assume will be wearing no masks if and when they compete in wrestling matches. It's a very strange story to try to tell.
That's why I just don't do the wrestling matches. It's okay. By the way, I know people get mad of like, oh, there's not enough wrestling on the wrestling.
Get your stopwatches.
Like it'll be all right. You'll be okay if you don't see a Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy tag team match.
First of all, no, don't you leave Joe Gacy out of this, okay? Mercy the Buzzard and Erick Rowan. Leave that. Just leave Joe Gacy out. He's fine.
Will saying like some bad wrestling could ruin the mystique of the whole thing. That was the unfortunate issue with Bray, is the bell rang and people are like, oh boy, this is now awful because he has to do a wrestling match, and people turned against it. So just don't do it. Just don't. It's okay.
But then what? But then what do you do?
You just keep doing spooky stuff. Do some cinematic stuff.
But in the world of wrestling where people are expecting the wrestling to eventually happen, you can't keep rehashing spooky stuff.
Sure. Why not?
Because the fans won't accept it as what these people are. Because they're not doing the thing that people are tuning in to watch, which is, believe it or not, the wrestling portion.
Fine. You want to do a wrestling match? Have them be their characters and have them win in 2 seconds.
With the weapons, the mallets, and so on and so forth.
Yep. Just do that. Every match can be a no DQ match, and they're the characters, and it's just all brawl stuff. I don't need a traditional 6-man tag team match with Gable and the Creeds against the Rowan, Gacy, and Loomis. And again, they're just standing on the aprons. Give me the hot tag, brother! Like, fucking just be Ramblin' Rabbit and kill somebody with the mallet.
I thought Ramblin' Rabbit was the one who got killed.
I don't care.
It's like I said, and you kind of alluded to it. Bray's mystique was gone when the bell rang and the Fiend had to wrestle. And the wrestling was good for like 1 or 2 matches. And I'm talking like the first Fiend appearance, because Finn Balor sold his ass off for that and did a great job making the Fiend look bigger than it was. This is the good side of this particular grouping of characters is that of all the people in it, the lead, being Bo Dallas, is the least experienced when it comes to wrestling this style of character. And what I mean by that is, as I've alluded to in other shows, if they are doing spooky not even spooky, if they're doing like weird characters, just weird presentations, a little heebie-jeebie in their presentation, then these guys have all done it, and they've done a good job with it. And Bo is the one who has done the least of the weird character presentations. Maybe he doesn't need to, but he certainly needs to adjust his character based on his wrestling if they're going to wrestle, which eventually they're going to have to wrestle.
They don't have to wrestle.
They have to wrestle.
See, I like that they're showing the real people behind these characters, and they're giving the character the backstory of why they are now these funhouse characters. All of that makes sense. Add some depth to it. But then if you're just going to, again, stick them in a wrestling ring, it just the optics of it is just strange. It's cool that like we're getting the backstory of it, but why would you just wrestle as Erick Rowan? Why would you just wrestle as Bo Dallas? You just come out, normal people, just what are we doing?
I understand. I disagree, but I understand. We'll find out. I'm trying to think if there's another way that this group can be presented. That's not the way that you and I are talking about it. But it's really like wrestling, no wrestling, or wrestling in character, wrestling as their alter egos. Because again, this presentation is very much based in alter ego than it is based in blurring the lines of like spookiness and so on. Monster trucks is the answer. I think Pile Driver Finishers just they got it for us.
For that would
That
rule.
is it. Yeah. Well, the Wyatt monster truck.
Sweet.
That would be sweet. Who would they face? The American Alpha or the Alpha Academy monster truck and the JCU monster truck. They just hate all forms of education. That's it.
Agreed.
Hmm.
Chad Gable just being like the modern day Hogan, not racist version.
The non-racist version is right. That's right. He just comes out and says, "Let me tell you something, brother." By the way, when we went to the Sami Zayn comedy show, I was 99% sure that one of the people that they picked up on stage to do the promo thing, I was certain that someone was going to bust out a Hogan-esque 80s promo. Nobody did. Cleveland?
Sammy's coming to Cleveland.
Yeah, I saw that and I said it. That was the highlight of our Money in the Bank weekend, was definitely the Sami show. And I went to a lot of shows, and so did we went to GCW too, and like that, the Sami show may have been the best part.
I'm excited to hopefully take the wife to the Sami Zayn show in Cleveland. I want to get up on stage. I want to do the promo battle.
I want to see you do the promo battle. And the problem is I won't, because I won't be there and they're going to pouch the phones.
And you can't record it.
And I can't record it. So I'm going to have to like reach out to WWE and be like, okay, here's what I need. I need this just one thing. I need you to like clip the promo off. Guy with long hair. I need his promo. They'll be like, why? I'll be like, it's not important. I just know he was there. He told me he got it. I need it. We can't give that stuff up. You can. You will.
I'll consent to it.
Okay.
I'm going to kill it.
You're going to kill your creation?
I'm going to do great. I'm going to cut a promo on Cole Radrick.
That's not going to make air at all. That's going to confuse more people than entertain. If you thought tree semen was enough, we're going to make it much worse. I was so excited when they announced that they were going to do it. It felt like they were going to. I'm a little confused as to why they're doing the Undertaker show and the Sami show. That was like, that's overkill.
Oh, that didn't confuse me.
Well, they're going to get a lot of people, and there's a vast like number of people. Listen, they're running a stadium show. They know people are in town. Like, I get it, but I was also like, oh, that is a very different show.
The confusing part was Undertaker shows on Saturday, which is also SummerSlam day. Sami shows on Friday, which is also SmackDown day. Like, it feels like these are going to be afternoon shows as opposed to night. That's the part that was confusing to me.
Are they running SmackDown that night in Cleveland as well?
Yeah, they're running at Rocket Mortgage.
Rocket Mortgage. Well, no, because the Sami show, they can run it on Friday night, and just if you didn't make it to SmackDown, if they're sold out, go to Sami show.
Sami feels like it's gonna have some like guests and stuff. Like last time he had Cody and Bailey there, so
it's fine. It's fine. He'll have the Undertaker on his show. Could you imagine the banter between the Undertaker and Sami Zayn? Taker just being like, I don't know, man. This was my green room. I was just hanging out here. Did they have a time for it?
I didn't see a time listed originally, but I guess if you buy tickets, there might be time. It's at 11 p.m. So it's after SmackDown.
Come tired.
Oh boy.
Come exhausted and watch Sami Zayn and a bunch of drunk WWE superstars on stage.
Yeah, it's at 11 p.m.
That's ballsy.
The wife just messaged, what?
That show's gonna be real blue, man. That's an 18. That's a 21 plus show if I ever heard of it. Wow. Yeah, the Taker show was Saturday afternoon. That much I knew.
Yeah.
But the Sami, whoo.
Yeah, I thought when I saw that Sami was on Friday, I was like, that's weird. So I just assumed it was Friday afternoon, but no, it is late Friday night.
He's going to drop so many F-bombs, which goes completely against the opening of his entire show.
Yeah, that's
Johnny Knoxville's going to be like, can I go to bed now?
Yeah, that show's not going to let out until like 1. It's every bit of a 2-hour show.
Was it a 2-hour show? I thought it was. Well, no, they started late. They started closer to 9 for our show, and they got out by 10:30. It's 90 minutes.
Okay, well, our show was supposed to start at 8 though, and if it didn't start till 9, so this show saying it's going to start at 11, might start
Start at midnight.
So yeah, that show's not letting out until 1 at the earliest.
How far is the venue from you guys? Like from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, and they're running to the Agora, right?
Yeah. Can't be that far.
It's it's an 8-minute drive. It's a 20-minute.
It's all downtown.
Yeah, but it's if you're walking, if you're on foot, which some people may have wanted to do, it's a 45-minute walk.
No.
So like there are going to be a lot of Ubers from that venue.
Well, this is what I'm saying. It's not going to start at 11. Like,
well, SmackDown ends at 10.
Dark matches.
People
stick around for that stuff.
I know they're gonna. They might not run the dark match. Maybe they'll be like, if you're going to the Sami show, get the hell out now.
They'll have dark matches.
No, who needs dark matches? Cleveland's own The Miz is gonna win a dark match against random.
People might want to stick around and see Cody. Cody shakes hands, kisses babies afterwards.
Oh, I want Drew Carey to show up at the Sami Zayn show. Just because Cleveland rocks. Yeah, that sounds like a dangerous proposition. Having them run after SmackDown. It's going to be a late night for those who are going to both.
Yeah.
I will not be there. There were people who had inklings that I would be. I'm not going. If Sean goes, I do not have to go. You're geographically convenient. You can go.
I mean, I'm going.
I know you are. I'm saying you're geographically convenient, so you would go. Are the same people who go to the Taker show the same ones who would be attending the dark matches? I don't think they'll have to worry about it. So they don't have to worry about that. Man, that's wild. I didn't think about that. I did think about Joe Hendry last night. Said his name and he appeared on NXT multiple times. This dude is A, capitalizing on everything, and B, definitely going to be on the NXT radar, the WWE radar, immediately following his contract. and again, a contract can be amended at any time for any reason. So Hendry on NXT was fun. Him interacting with Gallus was hilarious, because I was like, should we get subtitles for this entire segment? Joe Hendry, at least you can understand better.
Joel, you're not going to be here on Friday. Joel's not on Friday's show.
Unfortunately, I will be on the train heading to Montreal for the big TNA Slammiversary show. I almost called it SummerSlam, in which Joe Hendry was the reason why the match became a 6-way match, according to him.
Do you think they put the title on Hendry?
I don't. I think he's going to make it to the end and lose, and Moose is going to pin him.
Oh God.
I think he's going to make it to the end. I think Moose is going to retain his title. And if they do, the only other thing I could see them do is Moose is pinned first, and then they do we're guaranteed to have a new world champion tonight. But they put a lot of stock into Moose on and off screen. So I have a feeling that Joe Hendry will make it to the end, and then by virtue of that, he'll find his way into the NXT title match against Ethan Page at the PLE, the No Mercy PLE. Or actually, no, not even that. No, at Great American Bash. He'll probably do week 2 Great American Bash for the NXT Championship, because it's on TV. It's not a PLE.
They'd be dumb not to put the title on Joe Hendry.
I agree, and I don't. This is something that I've been talking about.
Sit on the fence, Joel. Don't straddle the fence. That's bad.
I know. Well, that's true. And also, if I don't go hard in the paint, people get really upset with you. I don't think they should put the title on him because they've only recently started presenting Joe Hendry as a serious wrestler or championship contender in the last 3-4 weeks. He hasn't been made. I get that you're catching fire with the character and things are working, but like there's been the seriousness is brand new. And I don't think the hotshot is worth it right now for a guy that is, I think he's going to be gone the second he's given the opportunity.
Then what you're going to keep the title on Moose?
Yeah.
That's worse than quote unquote hotshotting it to Joe Hendry. Way worse.
I understand.
If your plan,
TNA hasn't exactly done much to show anybody else, show you as a viewer that anyone else is going to win that title. They haven't shown anybody else to be. Joe Hendry is close because the audience has made him close. It's a Bryan 2014 situation, but also they've got, they had Nick Nemeth. They didn't do it with Nick. They have Josh Alexander. They haven't done it with him. Macklin's another one. Like, I get that this is all going back to people, but they've got Santana. They definitely see something with Santana winning that title, but to give it to Hendry doesn't feel like they're building to give it to Hendry. It feels like they're building Moose to make the next guy, and the next guy to me was gonna be Nemeth. I thought it was gonna be Nemeth Moose 2 at Slammiversary with Nemeth winning, but now it feels like they're building. It's gonna be Santana to get it from Moose, but they haven't hit that match yet, and when they do, I think that's the moment.
There's no moment, Joel, in TNA.
I get that, but there's not a moment. There are still. I don't think giving the title to Joe Hendry is going to suddenly convert a ton of eyeballs to TNA either.
I don't think we can have a discussion about converting TNA eyeballs. I don't know if they can do what they can do to do that. What they can do is actually capitalize on what is hot right now, and Joe Hendry is hot right now. Because what they failed to do in recent weeks, because they tape all of their stuff, and Tommy Dreamer is like, oh, we can't edit things. We send it in 5 weeks in advance, and we can't throw in new footage.
Which is bullshit, because I know their production team, and I know how hard they work, and I know they can do it.
Well, take it up with old Tommy.
I would rather not. I like Tommy, but I hate that line from him.
So they can't capitalize on any of this stuff that they see on NXT. Because everything's already in the can. You can capitalize. You finally got a live show. You can't capitalize on Joe Hendry. You have Joe Hendry, and you can do something with him on this show. You can put the world title on him. I don't care what you've been building to, because they haven't been building to much. If your big plan, we love Mike Santana. If your big plan is let's hold off the Bound for Glory to make Mike Santana to beat Moose, don't care. That putting the belt on a guy who's on NXT television, who is the hottest thing in your company right now, supersedes your building to Mike Santana plan. It just does. Henry doesn't have to be a long-term champion. He doesn't strike you as a guy who's a long-term champion anyway. You can go back. You can still have Mike Santana win and go from there. Call an audible on this. That's the beauty of pro wrestling, is you can change things up like that. You can capitalize on moments instead of building the fake moments that people aren't actually paying attention to.
Okay. So this is the other side of my give it to Hendry argument, where I can agree with putting it on him. If the rumors are true, and if Bound for Glory is going to be closer to Joe Hendry's place of residence than anywhere else, and if Hendry is going to eventually challenge for the NXT championship, then having the TNA World Champion and the TNA World Championship on your show could potentially bring some eyes and prestige to the title and to the program. Jordan Grace was also on the show, and that did what it did. It didn't do a lot in terms of getting TNA over, and it didn't do, and it got Jordan over. I don't know how much of the Knockouts Championship, gained prestige from that, because a couple of weeks later, it's Tatum. This is no slight to Tatum Paxley or Izzy Dame, but they're then challenging for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. This is why the Joe Hendry thing is very interesting to me. He is capitalizing and making the most of all of the attention that he's been given, and he's doing a great job with it. And I'm really appreciative, and I'm really in awe of how hard he works to get to this point. But again, I don't see the reason in the long term of doing this, but I do see the reason why TNA would want to do it right now if the NXTNA thing continues on through the rest of the year. And again, Joe Hendry leads a team, Ethan Page leads a team, something goes down towards the end of the year where both teams have a match, let's say.
What's the reason for the long term?
TNA's
if Mike Santana's your big building crowning moment. There's no knock on Mike Santana, by the way. You could literally insert anybody in here.
PCO.
Nick Nemeth is your big crowning moment. Like, Moose is not. Moose is Moose. Moose is fine. He does well. But like, defeating Moose to win this title is not going to be this big victory of like, oh, they finally did it. Moose has been defeated. They've overthrown the system. It's not this big hot angle. It's just not. And Joe Hendry's the hot angle right now.
And this is the whole thing with the Moose angle this is why I'm speaking as someone who is also covering TNA in a world where not many people are watching the week-to-week product. So for me, I view this as someone who is watching and covering TNA and seeing the stories that they're telling versus what people are seeing on NXT and seeing who's being brought onto the show and being pushed for those moments as TNA stars. The Moose story has been, he hasn't been pinned in a singles match in over 2 years, and that he's been champion since before the rebrand. So for Moose, that's what the build has been. I'm not saying it's effective, but I'm saying in the realm of TNA storytelling, there is a reason that he was being built for a big babyface to take it off of him. And could it be Hendry? Yes. But Hendry only recently stepped up as that guy. Again, they saw what he's doing, and they changed this. Again, according to Hendry, they changed the Slammiversary card based on his effectiveness. Could that mean that they give him the title? Absolutely. Does it mean it's the right deal? I don't know, because then you have two prevailing thoughts. One, they changed everything because of Hendry and because the NXT thing is forcing their hand. And then it looks like WWE is like forcing them. And I don't think that they are. It's just some people are going to get weird about that. And then the other side is TNA should have their own, they should stand on their own and have their own creative and their own storytelling. And that's what the focus should be. That if Moose is the champion, you're building to a big baby face to win the championship and move along the TNA title as the system breaks apart slowly. I don't know where they are in that story, and I don't know how much the NXT partnership and Joe Hendry separately and somewhat together have affected those plans beyond what we know, what we've been told. And someone asking, someone asking, did TNA book themselves into a corner with Moose's title run? No, because Moose is very well liked by a lot of people professionally. He does. I feel how you will about Moose. He will go out of his way for a lot of people and a lot of media opportunities. I understand people are saying, he's not the greatest when it comes to media. He's not whatever. I don't care about that. The fact that he makes himself available and isn't just spending his time, saying no. I think that goes a long way. He is respected amongst his peers, and I think that they've done a good job with his story. They're just fighting a new hot program, and that new hot program is Hendry and the NXT partnership.
Don't fight it.
I don't disagree with you, but I also don't know what like, again, we talk about eyes and everything. We don't know what the benefit becomes if you let this be, if you let this happen in terms of eyeballs, in terms of ticket sales, because we're going into Slammiversary. Slammiversary is sold out. The venue is going to be full, and that's a 4,000 seater rate. That's more than Hard to Kill for the rebrand. And they made a huge deal about the gate. They made a huge deal about the venue being very full. And I was there and I saw it. It was a very fun show. It was a very good night. That being said, they're running into a hot weekend in Montreal, and it's on the it's Hendry, it's the 6-man, it's also the Speedball and Mustafa Ali match for the X Division title. PCO, there is a legacy there. Like, there is enough there that it is a card that's made up to look big. But yeah, I don't know what their focus becomes.
Don't fight it. Go with the hot hand. You're saying, what does the eyeballs bring? Does, I don't know if you're questioning the value, but it's better than just staying the course and hoping, because this is always the hope with TNA, is they do a good pay-per-view and it's like, people tune into the weekly product, it's very good, and then nobody does, and then they just all our stories are great, there's good stuff, there's something for everybody, and it's at where it's at, and it stays at where it's at. Go with something hot. Joe Hendry's hot. Make it come down to Joe Hendry and Moose. Have the system get involved. Have Joe Hendry overcome the odds. Put the title on Joe Hendry. Build towards a Joe Hendry and Moose rematch. If you want to get the title back on Moose and you want to have Moose not take a singles loss, because this technically is not a singles match. If you want to continue to keep that going. And then if you got to go back to Moose, fine. And then you can do your crowning moment with whoever you want to do your crowning moment with. Because look, Joe Hendry's probably not long for the company. I don't know when his contract's up, but whenever it's up, I imagine WWE is going to make a strong offer. And maybe Hendry wants that, maybe he doesn't, but I imagine the talks are regardless going to happen in there. So it's probably not a long-term thing with Joe Hendry, and that's fine. Doesn't have to be a long-term thing. But you got to capitalize on the moment. You just got to capitalize on this moment.
I'm very curious about that main event. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be live. I'm going to be talking to a lot of people, both fans and backstage with TNA, just trying to get an idea of what this partnership has done for not just the company, but also their kind of perspective. Again, Montreal is going to be a really fun weekend in a lot of different ways. So what they do with Joe Hendry and what they do with the title and what they do with the partnership, again, like we all have ideas. This thing to me goes until end of year, and then it's either reassessed or it's put to bed. I hope that it continues on. I also don't know if WWE or NXT has like a reason to continue it past the end of the year, unless they just see it as like, this partnership is good as a feeder system where we see your top talent, we see how they translate to our television, and whether or not we want to take them when their contracts are done, which, like, people have complained about WWE is just cherry picking their top talent. Well, guess what? TNA is going to be that company. They are going to be presented almost like the new Evolve, if you want to talk about WWE's perception and partnerships. And does that mean that NXT's talent go to TNA? Absolutely. Does it mean that their top talent go? No, not all the time. In fact, Charlie Dempsey is arguably the only one that's made that jump up until now. Everyone else has been, again, we talked about Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame, Tavion Heights, who now is going to go do the N1, which is cool. There, and Miles Bourne, of course. They're going to be on TNA tomorrow night in a match against the Rascals and Kushida. Not Wesley, because it was taped, blah, blah, blah. For this one, Eddie, for this one, Tommy Dreamer is right. This one, he got it right.
Are they going to add a Rascals match to Slammiversary? They have.
I think they should. I also noticed last night on NXT that they definitely gave everything to Wesley. They made Wesley look like the star in that match because he is the only one under NXT contract. But I do think also, like, Wentz and Trey are more than okay with doing that because they're getting featured on a major international program, and also they're buddies. Like they're all brothers. They all get it. So just it was interesting to me when I saw that it was all about Wesley, and then the other guys got their tag team stuff in, and Wes was like doing his stuff.
I think they have to add a Rascals match. I don't know if Wesley's available this weekend, but if you can do Rascals against No Quarter Catch Crew at Slammiversary, I think that would be that ties two kind of stories together. Certainly the TNA story, since the Rascals are feuding with No Quarter in TNA. I know they're separate on NXT, but this is again where you got to just capitalize on moments. When you're a taped show and you only have so much control over so much, and you do your tapings in bulk like that, and then NXT comes along and makes you offers and wants to do stuff that you're really in no position to turn down, you got to capitalize on moments. And the moment here would be Rascals against No Quarter, if they can add that.
And I agree, they might do it. They might add it in, or maybe they'll do it at the tapings the next night if they want to do it. I know, but they also now they've sold out the venue for Slammiversary. So at this point, it's like, do they want to continue building this as a card where you buy it, or are they just happy with the sellout crowd?
I think you want to build the card for buying audiences, and also again, it's capitalizing on the moment, because if you do this match on Saturday or Sunday and then it's taped and then it airs in 3 weeks, who the hell knows what's going to happen with all of this stuff in 3 weeks.
I'll also add, I was a little annoyed, but I'm not going to get upset about it, at the fact that the Slammiversary pay-per-view was not mentioned at all on NXT. Like if this is at least somewhat of an even partnership, it would have been nice for them to, even against all odds, they didn't really mention what was going on with the open challenge with Jordan Grace. But this is their pay-per-view. This is one of their biggest ones of the year. And it felt weird that NXT didn't even mention it. Even with Joe Hendry, like he could have slid it in and been like, I'm going to be the TNA champion, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to win the NXT championship. Like something where he could at least make it happen. That would have been nice. If they add Rascals and No Quarter Catch Crew, to the pay-per-view, good idea. And as long as the WWE and the NXT socials are promoting it, then yeah, those are extra eyeballs that are worth being promoted to. The show's already, like I said, show's already sold out. They don't need to get any more people in the building because they can't. So that's one thing. Someone else had mentioned the whole Rascals with how they're presented in TNA versus how they're presented in NXT. They just turned them on TNA programming. And at least if they haven't now, then they're about to on Thursday. Sorry, spoilers. They get the official turn on Thursday. That was already in the plans. The stuff with Rascals, that was already planned for. That was like, and this was something I talked about both here and on the post show, is they had to get the alignment right to do the Rascals turn and do the Rascals reunion. And they've done it. And I think they did a good job with it. So it's good.
I hope they shot something last night at NXT, since they had all the Rascals there. They had all of No Quarter Catch Crew there.
I'm sure.
Set up.
I feel like they did. I feel like if they do it, they'll run a segment on Thursday. Because right now, I'm pretty sure Slammiversary is like a 5-match card. And granted, because it's an elimination match, that main event is probably going to go 35, 40 minutes. And then all the intros. Like, it's going to be a long main event. I'm just telling people now. It's going to be a pretty long main event because they're doing elimination. It's not one fall to a finish. They're going to tell stories in the match. It's going to be good, but it's going to be long. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. That being said, adding that one last match, I would do it.
I'd imagine they're going to add Hardy's and System to the show as well.
Matt's going. I don't think Jeff is.
Oh, all right. Never mind.
For reasons that are fairly known.
Sense.
They haven't promoted Jeff Hardy, but they have promoted Matt. Matt said he'll be there. The System and Hardy's matches, this is tomorrow night. On the show. And I'm pretty sure it has a definitive finish, by which I mean like not a screwy finish.
Right.
So sorry, a couple of spoilers there, but TNA, we do a post show every Thursday, myself, Cresta Star. And I'll also, after Slammiversary, Steven Jensen, the great Steven Jensen, is going to join myself, Cresta. I'm hoping to be there. I plan to be there. I have to book a studio that's near the venue today. And
Make sure you book for 2 hours, not 3.
The place I'm looking at is down the street and they close at midnight. So I'm going to see if they'll stay open for me to do a post show or at least be in on the first hour. So we'll see where we're at. I'm hoping that Slammiversary ends by 11 p.m. We'll see. We got a super chat from Jana saying they should have done a traditional 1v1 title match and a number one contendership King of the Mountain match for Bound for Glory. I would put the title on Hendry. King of the Mountain, I really wanted them to do that at this show. I wanted it to be King of the Mountain with Kazarian getting the win and then Nemeth winning the title for Moose. Nemeth versus Kazarian as the first title match. But of course, Joe Hendry messed everything up.
Take the book away from this man.
The reason why was because Kazarian was running around calling himself the King of TNA, so he had to win the King of the Mountain match to get his title match. That's the whole thing.
Take the book away from this man.
And on top of that, I think if they add anything, I would add a Queen of the Mountain match. That's the match I would have done for Slammiversary, is a queen, because now they're starting to show that the women, they're starting to bottleneck the women in the knockouts division. So that would be fun. You can tell them you've been kicked out of nicer studios. I hope they all speak English to me. It's going to be good stuff. Anyway, yeah. So that good NXT talk, good NXT and TNA talk. More Joe Hendry is really the takeaway here. Dynamite 250. You want to do this? Here's the challenge. You're gonna reprise the Tony Khan.
No.
But I'm gonna give you 250 seconds to do the Dynamite preview.
How long is that?
That is 4 minutes and 17 seconds.
Oh, I can do it in 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
You got to hit your mark though, buddy.
Oh, I got to hit it right at.
You got to hit it on. You got to hit 416.
Okay.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Do you have it? Do you have it pulled up?
Do I have what pulled up?
The Dynamite preview.
Oh, yeah.
You should probably remember how that goes. I'm not going to show you the number. I'm going to tell you the stopwatch. We are stopwatch wrestling promoting, because that's what you do on a Wednesday. You pull out your stopwatch and you see if you can hit your marks. Are you ready?
You gotta have the stopwatch up there so I can see it. So I know.
No. I'm not even going to do it. We're going to see if you're so confident in your Tony Khan that you can hit your mark. We're going to start. You want to start right at noon? How about that?
No.
How much time until noon? You've got. No. There's 20 seconds until noon.
No.
No, you want to do that? Okay.
Nope.
You just want me to press start and go ready, set, go, and then you can do it?
Whenever I start, that's when you can start, Joel.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about that. I don't want to do dead air until you get there. So
we can banter. We can banter a bit. We can just talk. It's a good show tonight.
It is a good show. Very good show. Yeah. Very big show. Well, he's not going to be there, but 250
he might be.
He might be. He's going to come back and join he's going to be the new tree, the new root on the tree.
Let's Paul Driver Finisher's birthday. Happy birthday to Paul Driver Finisher.
Hey, happy birthday, buddy. It's good to see you. Are you going to enjoy the show? It's going to be your favorite show, he says.
Oh, good. Good for him.
Late night smooth DJ Daz voice. No, we can't. I got to bring it back. It's Dynamite 250. It's a big show.
And it's gonna be a tremendous show, Joel Pearl. It is AEW Dynamite live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. You won't want to miss this. It's from the Simmons Bank Arena in Little Rock, Arkansas. Why are we holding AEW Dynamite 250 in Little Rock, Arkansas? I don't know, because Little Rock, Arkansas, we got great fans all across the world, especially in Little Rock, Arkansas, and they're going to see a tremendous show tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, live only on TBS. It's going to be Will Ospreay defending the AEW International Championship against MJF. This is going to open the show, everybody. Will Ospreay against MJF. The feeling is back, everyone. The feeling is back with Will Ospreay against MJF live tonight for the AEW International Championship at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. Plus, we've got the AEW TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné, her open challenge has been answered against Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose, the first ever AEW Women's Champion. She's stepping up to face Mercedes Moné but this time it's for the AEW TBS Championship. No Britt Baker. She was not allowed to answer this open challenge. It's going to be Mercedes Moné against Nyla Rose for the AEW TBS Championship, and it's going down live at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. Also, we're going to have Mariah May. Mariah May is going to appear out of nowhere, out of thin air. Mariah May appears on AEW Dynamite, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on CBS. What will Mariah May have to say after a shocking turn on Toni Storm last week? Toni Storm, the mentor of Mariah May. She was laid out. She was brutally attacked by Mariah May, who won the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament. Bloodied, battered. Toni Storm, she was poking her with the shoe. Toni Storm, she couldn't watch for the shoe. The shoe was in her eye. The shoe is in her eye thanks to Mariah May. Mariah May is going to speak live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. Apparently, Will Ospreay is also speaking. I don't remember who added this to the rundown, but Will Ospreay is speaking tonight on 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS, AEW Dynamite. He's going to speak. Maybe he speaks before he takes on MJF and defends the AEW International Championship. Maybe he speaks after he takes on MJF and defends the AEW International Championship. That match is going to open the show. Will Ospreay, MJF, AEW International Championship opens the show. But at some point, Will Ospreay is also going to speak. He might speak during the match. Will Ospreay might grab a microphone, hit a 450, 390 gainer, and be like, bruv, I can do all that shit. What are you going to do to me, MJF? And then MJF might hit him with the brass knuckles, hit him with the Dynamite Ring, hit him with a roll-up. AEW International Championship, MJF, Will Ospreay. It's one of the biggest matches we've ever done in AEW history, and it's live, 8 p.m. Eastern, AEW Dynamite. TBS, it's free on live television, only on TBS at 8 p.m. Eastern, plus TV time with Chris Jericho. We got to have Chris Jericho. We got to have TV time for AEW Dynamite. 250 AEW Dynamite, one of the greatest shows in wrestling history. TV time with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's been a great part of AEW, the first ever AEW World Champion. Chris Jericho, he's going to have his TV time. One of the biggest stars in wrestling history. Certainly one of the biggest stars in AEW history. Chris Jericho, TV time, AEW Dynamite, live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. And the AEW World Champion, Swerve Strickland, he will be in action. He will be taking on the AEW Continental Champion, Kazuchika Okada. It's a title versus title match, but neither title's on the line. It's just champion versus champion. Swerve Strickland, Kazuchika Okada. It goes down live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS. We got a tremendous show for everyone from Little Rock, Arkansas. It's going to be AEW Dynamite, 250, 8 p.m. Eastern, TBS, right after Sheldon Cooper and The Big Bang Theory. You don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss AEW Dynamite. Thank you to the great AEW fans. Justify this is awesome chant.
You had your phone queued up for this.
Fuck no. My
You had
phone's right
on
here.
your computer. On your computer, you had it.
No,
absolutely.
I didn't.
You had something queued up.
Why can't I just be great, Joel Pearl?
I refuse to believe.
Walk
I
off.
refuse. I
Walk it off.
refuse. I
Walk it the
refuse.
fuck off.
No way. I refuse to believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Not for a second. You had something. You had something.
I had greatness.
You had the table flowing through you. Pieces of table.
Oh, I'm so out of breath. It's been a while since I've done that.
Good job. We got a Q&A to record.
Fuck.
Fightful Select Q&A. Jeremy and I are going to be covering that. We're going to go record it right now. How about that? Jeremy's
Fuck,
back.
I gotta get some water first.
That's fair. You can do that. Maybe I'll get something too. Yeah, it was 10% luck and 20% skill. The rest of it, drugs. We're going to be back. Well, Jeremy's going to be back on Friday. I might pop in for a minute. We'll see. But there's going to be some fun on the show. You want to cue that up real quick? The planned guest.
SP3 is going to be joining us. Ben Bishop, the wrestler, not the goaltender, will be joining us as well.
We did try to get the goaltender as well, but unfortunately, the goaltender is not an easy man to get a hold of.
He works in the Dallas Stars front office.
Should probably just ask Stars PR. Be like, hey, we need your non-wrestling goaltender, former, to come and join us for a few minutes to prove that he is not, in fact, an AEW superstar.
Yes. It'd be great if we could actually pull that off.
Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, SP3 Jeremy will be here. I might pop in from the train. Until then, I'm at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, we're going to go record a Q&A for Fightful Select, so go check that out. It'll drop sooner rather than later. Okay, Bye-bye.